other thing that Hammond has done is that he's fixed the seat in his driving.
With our test drives over, it was time for the challenges to begin. Not all limo drivers are drug dealers. Not all limos are used for hen nights. Some have to be used for transporting political figures who may be attacked at any time. Your cars then should be nimble and fast enough to get out of tricky spots.
That's you in trouble.
For the first challenge, you arrive at a roadblock. The other two presenters are there, armed with paintball guns. How many hits can they score before you've done a J-turn and got away? I was first to drive into the jaws of death.
Oh no, a pathetic roadblock!
Now a J-turn. You reverse at high speed, brake, spin the wheel, and as the front slews round, you slam it into first and roar away. I must be honest, the Panda wasn't much good.
It's actually quite tiring, isn't it?
Yeah, just on the trigger finger.
Yes, I may be getting shot a few times now. Ah.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah, you may have...
You could get more paint on it if you use the brush.
With my Panda having set the bar pretty low, the convertible went next.
Okay, I'm on the bottom, but there is no room. Open up me to the terrorists. Oh, terrorists! Brilliant, J-turn, the speed was good. The protection, not so good. Oh, that's so bad. But I got one there and one there.
Did it hurt?
Yes, like a,
Like a word you can't...
very wall in the head, yeah.
Unfortunately, I suspect...
I think I'm beating you.
You have beaten me. Right, James.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Instead of doing the tricky J-turn, I planned to get into the alpha end and reverse away forwards. But that idea did have a flaw. In fact, it had two flaws.
Oh, the wheel was...
I don't know, you aimed at my gentleman's area. That was chuffing agony.
There is far more on you than on the car.
Yeah, well, so what, in that case?
No.
I've won.
No.
No, hang on, the rules said...
situation and you'd be thinking, never mind, at least the car's not got paint on it.
The rules said hits on the car, not hits on the wedding vegetable.
It was time for the next challenge. I just hope that that was the end of the evasive driving stuff.
Evasive driving, part 2. It's a test of nippiness against the clock. You break out from a terrorist trap, slalom down the runway between strategically placed cars belonging to members of the public which you may not hit, steer around the stinger at the hammerhead and pull up once you're out of range of the water cannon.
With manoeuvrability being the key to every aspect of this challenge, James was feeling confident.
What's this?
Everything's still unlocked now. How is he going to do a slalom?
It's not going to help at all.
Hammerhead!
The water cannon kicked in to make missing the stinger even harder.
Easy victory.
Well, maybe not. My sports limo was like a greyhound out of the trap. Wheels spinning everything!
Well, that looks quite good.
I can't really see Kofi and Nan ever having got into it in the first place.
It's the stinger next. No, hang on, it's the water thing first. Convertible. As it turns out, not the best idea.
the Panda broke out with ease.
Yeah! Rock and roll! How's he going to do the slalom?
This is going to be
that long.
Looking good.
He's going to have to take the world's most enormous route.
Oh, for crying out loud. Oh no, I'm not going to make it.
No, that is such a poor idea.
Oh no.
Oh, there's some smoke coming out of it.
Oh, this is very hard.
Yeah, the clock's still running.
My limo had become bogged down, but the film crew kindly pushed me out, and I was on my way again. No, you can squirt it as much as you like. Sadly, I hit the stinger, which punctured the tyres, and then worse, my engine died.
Now, earlier you saw us buy 3 normal cars and turn them into stretch limousines. Then we went down to our test track for a series of challenges. And I have to say that Jeremy, your Panda was rubbish, mate. Absolutely
yeah, it was
rubbish.
brilliant. No.
It came, what, it got the most hits in the anti-terrorist test,
Yes,
and
it
then it
did.
was knocked out by a hosepipe.
Anyway, for the final challenge, we were told to smarten ourselves up because we would be chauffeuring top celebrities to this year's Glittering Brit Awards.
Yes, we would, and the winner would be the person who could get the most photographs of their celebrity in the following week's newspapers and magazines. This is what happened. Before being allowed on the road, each of our cars had to face a government inspection to make sure they were road legal. Hammond sailed through no problem at all, and so amazingly did Mays. Me, though, I had a problem. For some extraordinary reason, the rules say you can't drive a 46-foot car on the public highway, so I had to do some surgery. I've had to knock 7 feet out of the middle, which has affected rear legroom a little bit, but it is now quite nippy, because it's only 8 feet longer than a bus.
For my pickup, I had to go to a hotel in Chelsea to collect a Brit nominee called Lamar.
Hello.
Mr. Lamar?
Oh, yes.
My name's May. I'm your chauffeur for the day.
Okay.
This is your car. It's an Alfa Saab.
Meanwhile, I've been sent to EMI Records in West London.
Everyone's a critic.
And my VIP pickup was R&B star Jamelia.
Oh my god. Okay. No expense spent.
Whilst Hammond got the glamorous singer, I had to pick up a fat man. Oh, God. Chris Boyle from Radio 1. This is your luxury limousine transportation?
No one had in mind.
Right. Here we go. Sit back and relax.
Okay, if you'd like to step in, that would be great, and we'll get off. What?
This is the intercom.
Yeah.
You press that on the door accordingly. If it starts to rain, don't press it because you'll get electrocuted.
Eventually, though, all our passengers were on board and we were ready. Are you comfortable? No.
Oh, God.
We were all now heading for Earl's Court. The Brits is one of the biggest nights in the showbiz calendar, with most celebs hoping to look impressive by arriving in a big, shiny German car. We were going to show them the error of their ways. We're better than an army, this will get you noted. Lower that stately Travis is on 3 counties radio now. He didn't think to use cars like this over the water. Now, I've chosen this route to demonstrate the brilliance of my car.
Meanwhile, in the Alphard, Lamar was riveted by James's conversation.
There is a small issue with the congestion charge because, as I'm sure you know, the camera records the rear view of the car. But when they look at the photographs, it will give the registration under the Saab, but the photograph will show the front of an Alfa. So it will look as though somebody with the wrong sort of car for the number plate has reversed the run.
Back in the Panda, my demonstration of its brilliance wasn't going too well.
Exactly, there's nothing wrong with it. Shush. We can edit that bit out.
So when the digital camera takes a picture, it thinks, well, that's a Saab. But when they look at the photo, they'll see it's an Alfa Romeo and it's going the wrong way. Hyde Park on the left there, sir.
In the MG, poor old Jamelia was attracting a lot of attention from fans. Not least because Hammond had to modify his intercom to make it legal.
Sorry about the fan thing, trying to chat you up there. That was a bit awkward for you, I'm sure.
I can't hear you.
Oh.
So, Jamelia was embarrassed in the MG, Lamar was bored in the Alphard, and Chris had yet to appreciate the Panda's brilliance.
That is a catastrophe that's just happened now. Is that car behind you very close?
Yes.
And then Lamar woke up as he began to realise that James had no idea where he was going.
Well, it has navigation shorts, but it has a driver who's used it over 20 years, 21 years now.
Where are we going?
We're just coming on to
To distract Chris from the fact that we were almost constantly stuck, I engaged him in some musical small talk.
I once went to World's Court in 1976, saw bad company there, Simon Kirk. He did a drum solo like you wouldn't believe.
It was now 6 o'clock. Lamar was supposed to be at the Brits in half an hour and James was miles away, stuck in the side streets of central London.
Actually, if you don't mind, sir, this is sort of where I need your help. Because the reason this car will go around these very small corners is because you can steer it from both ends, but I'm afraid I'd have to ask you to sit in the Alfa Romeo with a steer.
By this stage, Moyles was hungry and thirsty, and because I hadn't thought to include any onboard catering, he'd been shopping for supplies.
What was that?
I was getting on my seat.
Oh, so I thought someone had run into us.
Turn left.
Right, left?
Yeah, your left.
My left.
Yeah. That's it, that's perfect. You see,
Yeah.
straight round that very tight bend. You see, now a normal limousine wouldn't go round like that, would it? Let's do another one. Hard left, sir.
Okay, so this, the whole thing is not...
You need to straighten up a bit so we're crabbing rather
Well, I
than...
can't because the whole, your wheel thing is split.
Jamelia was closer to Earl's Court than Lamar, but no happier.
The accelerator's stuck open a bit.
But if you think about it, I have to link it to the back of the car. It's opened up suspension and the clutch and the front wheel.
Oh, hang on.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, sorry. Road closed. I'm going to go right.
And then it got worse.
That's not gone well, has it?
Where are you going?
You're going that way. Right. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh my God! Rippin in his left, right?
That's the famous Harrods department store on the left.
Earlier when I was talking about circles, you know? So I mean, Harrods, seen it twice. I really need to see it a third time.
The bus couldn't back up and I was stuck on a double mini roundabout.
I can't make this turn, Chris, at all.
Look where you going! Whoa! Thank you. There, we're clear.
Earl's Court was now just minutes away.
What was that noise?
At the Brits, the world's media were waiting for Jamilia's arrival.
I still don't think you appreciate the complexity of linking up a rear-engine car when you've stretched. Red car fingers.
And she wasn't too pleased with my clever exit solution.
Sorry about the ladder thing, the steps weren't ideal.
Whilst Jamilia regained her composure, I checked on the others. Jerry, how you doing?
Not well.
It's what?
In two pieces on the Lily Road. It's broken in half.
I'm sorry not to be more supportive.
Sorry, Chris. We end up being like an hour late or something like that. At this rate, isn't it? You know? First time I'm nominated, best male. Best male, Lamar.
Surely, sir, in the music business, it's fashionable to be quite late anyway. Nobody ever turns up on time.
It's fashionably late and it's stupid.
I can only apologise, sir, but it's...
I don't want to hear anything. Please, just get me there.
Well, there's 5 minutes to go. May is hopelessly lost. Jeremy's car is split in half. That means, by default, if nothing else, I am the winner! Yeah!
Hammond may have been gloating, but I wasn't out of the competition yet.
Dignity, yeah. Dignity.
So, Oils was happy, but Hammond wasn't.
You're cheating. You finished me half a car. You're supposed to finish me.
I've got the man here.
Meanwhile, in a car somewhere nowhere near Earl's Court, Lamar, acknowledged as one of the gentlemen of pop, had had enough.
Strictly speaking, it's left, but I think if we go right, I can go round the back.
What do you mean, right?
Well,
Right, why? You just said, no, listen, you just said go left, right?
well, most people would go left, sir.
So, most people, so why don't we just follow what most people do?
Because I think if we go
No,
right...
why are you doing this intentionally now? Yeah, this section is just stupid. Are you a jerk?
No,
That's
but
what you come to mess up my day. You pick me up, you do me round and round in circles in London. You've been past Harrods 11 looks 100 times now. Left for things go right. I'm not taking this anymore. I'm putting it down for. I'm thinking, what the hell? I get it. I get it.
Now, here on Top Gear, as you know, we like a bit of a challenge. We've made amphibious cars, we've made a convertible people carrier, but now it's time to see if we can conquer the final frontier. Space.
No.
Hank, well, what do you mean, no?
No.
Now, you see, we wanted to find out if we could make a car into a spaceship.
Yes, and I thought this was the single stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life and I refused to have any part in it.
Ah, you see, but you'd underestimated the genius of our space-based plan.
One of the problems with space rockets is that they're jolly expensive. The superpowers spend billions trying to get their hardware up amongst the stars. But we thought you could do it for a lot less cash if you based your space rocket on a car. That meant getting hold of the most rocket-shaped car we could think of.
Yes, it's been around for 30 years, and for 29 of those years, it's been a complete joke. Now look, we're going to see if the Reliant Robin has the makings of a spaceship.
It's light, it's cheap, and it tapers to a point, like a rocket, so we're already heading in the right direction.
But we're not just going to strap rockets to it, set it off and wave it goodbye, because we're going to see if we can turn it into the most difficult of all spacecraft, the one that has to take off and be used again, a space shuttle. If you're 8, you're probably going to want to see what happens next.
Our first job had been to put a call in to the Rocketeers. These were the men who'd helped to send a Mini down a ski jump for the Top Gear Winter Olympics.
2, 1, initiate.
James and I convened a meeting at their headquarters just outside the Derbyshire town of Glossop.
It's not exactly the Kennedy Space Center, is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Inside, we'd assembled a motley crew of boffins.
Right, gentlemen, what we want from you is the most difficult type of space rocket, a space shuttle. This has to work properly. It has to have the big fuel tank, it has to have the booster rockets, they all have to separate, and most importantly, we have to be able to bring it back down under control to a landing.
And it's worth saying as well that nobody's going to go in this, but it has to be landed.
Yeah, the idea of this is that we will send it up to a few thousand feet. What we're doing is testing the principle. If you can make all this work and we can bring it into this controlled landing, we will probably get funding from the EU for a proper space mission.
So you want to launch it, jettison the SRBs,
Jettison the SRB.
jettison the orbiter, and fly it down.
What's the orbiter?
The Reliant.
Right.
Have you got a spare $1 billion?
No, you see, that's why we've come to you, because you're from Manchester and you'll be able to do it for 10 and 6.
That'll be as much tea as you can drink.
Yep. Chips in lard, everything, anything you want. The rocket men did some calculations on the back of a laptop.
How do we make this bloody thing work?
Well, we've got the Robin. They're giving us the Robin now. That's the starting.
Whoopee, we've got a Robin.
An hour later, and it looks as though Jeremy might have had a point.
It is difficult in every single way. Right, you've got a Reliant Robin. It's a car, so it's really, really heavy.
Yeah.
So, rough numbers, we're going to need about 12 times the amount of power that the Mini had.
Really?
It's the largest non-commercial rocket launched in Europe. It's the most powerful non-commercial rocket launched in Europe.
Right.
As a rocket, it is the most awful shape it could ever be.
But I thought the Robin was a good place to start because it's pointy at one end. That's as far as it got with that.
It's pointy, so
Yeah.
Nevertheless, they set to work with James in tow. While May was in his element in the world's biggest allotment shed,
Oh, look at that.
I was trying to work out how to land the Reliant.
Rockets have deployed. So we land it. Like that.
I wrestled with the problem for ages before I had a brainwave.
Hello, is that model aeroplane monthly? Great. I need some help. This, I think, is the answer. We put a more powerful version of whatever this is to our space shuttle. Then we can take control of it from the ground after it's jettisoned its rockets and fly it in by remote. It's a good plan. Just got to get good at flying.
I thought it best to sack myself from this job and instead hired Steve Holland, a champion model airplane pilot.
Yeah, now that is more like it, Steve. How are you at flying cars? Cars, small cars.
With Steve the pilot on board, I went back to check on James's build, and I was in for a shock.
It's enormous!
That's a solid rocket booster. There are two of those. That hasn't even got its nose cone on yet. It's actually a bit bigger than that.
But I was thinking firework on a stick.
I know. So it's like, but that isn't the biggest bit.
No, the external fuel tank was the biggest bit, complete with extra rockets in the bottom. Then there were more rockets in the Reliant and explosive bolts to separate everything. The whole construction was mind-bogglingly complicated.
What occurs to me now is the list of things to go wrong is enormous.
And if any one of them goes wrong...
See, I've been worried about the landing. The chances of getting as far as the landing on the day are now...
How did you get on with your flying, by the way?
The next problem was a biggie. The Rocketeers were worried that because of the Robin's odd shape, the whole shuttle would steer off course during the ascent.
So, we're happy we've got the power.
Yeah, 8 tons of thrust.
And the thing only weighs 1.5, so it's going to go.
It's not going to work.
Well, it's got to work. We're quite a long way into it now. Yeah, no, but you see, if you look at it like this, it makes a lot more sense. Mate, we've got to make sure it doesn't just launch. I mean, it could fall onto its back in the sky or anything. This isn't about power now. This is about the shape of it and how that will affect where it goes.
Where it goes. It's aerodynamic. We need an aerodynamics expert to look at all this stuff.
One grovelling phone call to the University of the West of England, and we secured permission to use their wind tunnel. And because it was free, we assumed it was self-service.
Go.
Well, what do you mean, go? I don't know what... Let's go.
No matter how hard he tried, James couldn't make himself into the shape of a Reliant Robin, even with help. Thankfully, 2 eggheads arrived with the scale model of our shuttle.
You see a beard like that, and you know you're in safe hands.
Yep.
Well, basically, we're looking for anything aerodynamically nasty. Yeah, the Reliant is a problem aerodynamically.
Well, they didn't really design it with this in mind, did they?
Is there any washout or wash in on the wings?
It's basically a simple aerofoils.
I don't know what you two are saying.
Well, the aerofoil section of the wing. Right.
So, the big question.
I took it from his silence that he had his doubts. And he wasn't alone. Like the real thing, our shuttle would glide back to Earth without her. And Steve, our pilot, had also built a model to show how well it did this.
What's it actually going to feel like to fly?
Well, it's going to come down like a lift with a cable cut.
You're not filling me with hope, Steve.
Well, most normal aeroplanes, they sort of glide for about, if they fly 20 feet forward, they lose about a foot in height.
Yeah.
Afraid the Robin is the other way round. 3, 2, 1.
And when the model was released from its tow plane,
It's just plummeting to the Earth.
I'd rather you than me, I tell you.
so there were doubts about our space shuttle going up and doubts about it coming down. But it was too late to worry now, because she was ready and on her way to the launch site.
The launch site was a military base whose whereabouts are top secret. The build began, and soon the main fuel tank was assembled and attached to the launch pad. Together with the solid rocket boosters, these parts contained the 8.5 tons of rocket power that would take the Reliant up into the heavens.
Here's what terrifies me. As it is here on that, let's be honest, bit of scaffold. Just the tiniest, you know, like that's Birmingham, or that's John and Groats.
Look, it's fine. It's held down with some old concrete blocks and some straps that you use to hold furniture down in a removable van. That's perfect.
Well, there's only this we can do something. As it happened, there was. We were sent off to dig a bunker for Steve, the model airplane pilot who would glide the Reliant in. But that wasn't easy, because the launch site is littered with unexploded bombs.
Thank you for choosing a precision metal detector. With your metal detector, you can hunt for coins, relics, jewellery, gold and silver just about anywhere.
Does it say bombs?
No.
James had bought his metal detector at Argos. So I got myself some serious body armour.
JCB. I've just worked out something though from this. It only works down to a depth of about 3 inches.
As it turned out, it all went rather well. In the main.
What have you done? You Philistine.
Finally, our bunker was finished.
So that's it then. Good.
With Steve now fully protected, we went back to the launch site, where there was good news. Bang on time for its date with Destiny, the Reliant Robin had arrived.
You're alright.
Keep it coming.
You're alright.
On that line.
You're alright.
Yep.
You're alright. Back.
Nice. And stop. That is the business end of a reusable Reliant orbiter.
Wow.
Then we were entrusted with another job.
I reveal to you the legend.
You spanner.
What? That's where it goes on the
Look at
wing.
what it's going to look like when it's up there. Pointing up.
Brilliant.
Upside down.
As night fell, the most delicate and risky part of the operation began. Attaching the Reliant space orbiter to the rockets and fuel tank.
Not kidding, this bit is genuinely very scary because as they're mounting it up, and it's quite complicated, all the linkages, if the shuttle clonks it and bends any of the release mechanisms, it won't come off, and then the shuttle and the tank will come down.
Go over and help.
I think not.
Did you hear that really funny NASA thing he said just now?
What?
Right, come on lads, let's get this Robin. Oh, ladder's coming out.
Yeah, again, at NASA, they don't keep a step ladder on the launch pad. One small step ladder.
Don't stop laughing, they're getting really cross.
Finally, the Robin was attached and the completed space shuttle made for a truly awesome sight. Everything was looking good. But later, in our suite at the local Ritz Sheraton, I was a worried man.
What do you think the chances are of it actually working?
Vile betrayers, deceiving tongue,
It's just that, you know, when we do these big things, they usually end in some sort of massive disaster. I quite like this one to work.
worth a quick reminder of exactly what is going to happen.
Absolutely, we've got 8.5 tons of rocket thrust to push that thing off the ground at about 1,000 feet. The two solid rocket boosters will be empty. They will fall away and come down on parachutes, doing about 100 miles an hour then.
Yeah, it'll continue accelerating to about 140, then at about 3,000 feet, the orbiter itself will detach from the main body. That's when Steve will find to take control. It's his job to glide it in. He has the option of firing 3 rockets to extend that glide. He'll then put it down on the deck and landing strip and prove that it's reusable.
Yeah.
Of course, all that we've just said is just wait, to be honest.
The last few hours were taken up with final preparations, and with such an ambitious project as this, the complexity of the onboard systems was simply staggering. Each electronic component had to talk to every other electronic component at exactly the right time.
There have been 1 or 2 delays. Most of these are of an electrical nature. There's a long wire leading from launch control down to the rocket, and unfortunately that had a break in it somewhere.
James, a cow ran through.
Yeah, okay, but that's all sorted. We are now fueling the bird. And once that's done, there can be no delays. It's full of fuels. They're going to have to light that candle. Yeah.
The tension now was almost unbearable. You could almost hear Jeremy preparing some intergalactic smugness. So, would it stay on course during the ascent? Would the rockets and fuel tank detach? And would Steve, who by the way had refused that kind offer, bunker, be able to pilot the Robin down safely? In just a few seconds, we'd know.
This looks like yet another perilous predicament.
That's why.
This is Cyprus, near Greece.
I'll let you start.
And these roads make up the course for the Cyprus Rally. It's a melee of rough gravel tracks and sharp, blind bends. A good place then to try out the Turbo S. The other good thing about Cyprus is, well, the weather is not exactly what you call bad. Sun and clear blue skies. Which means this man can see where he's going. He's a Red Devil, one of the British Army's crack parachutists. Today, he's going to race me. This isn't as good a job as it sounds. You see, I'm going to set off from a start line about 2.5 miles over there in the mountains. I'll then drive as fast as I can down the rally track to the finish point. Meanwhile, Lance Corporal Mac McAuliffe will jump from 10,000 feet directly above me and race me to the target. As the crow flies, Mac will also be covering about 2.5 miles, and that should take him 2.5 minutes. Which means if I'm to have a fighting chance, I'll have to average 60 miles an hour. And that is a tall order on roads like this. The Red Devil will be jumping from this helicopter, which we've borrowed from somebody.
Now the challenge facing him is he needs to descend as quickly as possible to win the race, but stay high enough to cover the horizontal distance.
Which is why he'll be wearing the Phoenix Fly Vampire V2. It's a cutting-edge wingsuit modeled on flying squirrels, and it allows the wearer to fly faster over longer horizontal distances.
Now obviously he will have to open his chute at some point, otherwise he'll just fall to earth like a man dressed as a flying squirrel.
Within minutes, the Red Devil was 10,000 feet up, hovering directly over my GPS coordinate position on his start line in the sky. All the off-road technology was working fine. It was the tyres that were holding me back.
20th wins on this car. Porsche don't supply off-road tyres. If you go down the size to 19, they won't fit over the huge brakes that you need to stop them. These tyres have absolutely no grip. He's right now falling at just 30 miles an hour, but he's going up on the ground at 100. All the power in the world. How in the name of God do you stop it? I need his parachute. Cliff! Cliff! Ow! Oh, that was expensive. I can see him! Go back at the missile!
As we neared the halfway point, the Red Devil was well ahead, but soon he had to slow down.
Literally, my only 20 degrees shoot is on a 90-second drop. That's how I'm going to make up time. It's never going to come.
Big bang! At 2,500 feet, only seconds away from slamming into the ground, the Red Devil has to hit the brakes by releasing his parachute.
When Thor lent me his aid back then, I did not expect he would ask me to repay him like this. But my word is my bond, and it must be done. I must meet and greet with the good people of Asgard in his place. Fortunately, my Thor impression is impeccable. Unfortunately, I have forgotten the locations which I must visit. Perhaps you could aid me in seeking them out? first location. This shouldn't take a moment.
I dare say the great Thor is running rather late.
Wonderful to see you. Oh, yes, I suffered a sinus infection. Made my face swell in strange places. Have you lost weight?
A most charismatic fellow.
On to the next.
Here we are. Excuse me while
This beast will even run once our steam gets developed.
Greetings. Yes, it is I. My hammer is just in the blacksmith getting a tune-up.
I didn't think he'd really show.
That concludes that. Where to next? All right. Time for another show.
I say, save some of that broth for Thor, eh?
A fine banquet. How is your father? Oh, I see. When did that happen?
I think I just saw Mjolnir.
Believe only one remains. Lead the way.
When Thor arrives, I shall eat him under the table.
I'm going to attempt a joke this time. Wish me luck. The gods look kindly on this night. I guess that would be me.
Most excellent.
It is done. My debt is repaid. I am almost a little wounded that Thor did not call in his favor by way of a mighty ally in battle, but I am sure that this task has aided him in some similar way. I must thank you for your assistance in this noble matter.